the hips, the knees, and our peak pose will be pigeon today. So begin in seated in cross-legged or half lotus or lotus, whatever suits your body, and just begin to breathe into the entire rib cage. Feel your entire rib cage expand in the back. So we'll take deep breaths here. You can close your eyes or just relax the eyes, have them half closed. Expanding the rib cage on the inhale and allowing it to come in on the exhale. And then really just making circles with the rib cage toward the left and then toward the right. And then we'll take the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. You can make boxes or you can turn these into more circles with the shoulders, but slowly inhaling up and exhaling down, reaching through the crown of the head at the same time so we extend the spine. And then reverse that direction, bringing the shoulders forward, back, forward, down, and back. And then just allow the shoulders to settle down and relax. We'll bring the arms out to the side and inhale the arms overhead, bringing the palms together and then to heart center. And inhale, interlace the fingers and press the palms forward and bring them up overhead. And again, just sort of wiggle through the spine, expanding the rib cage, reaching up with the hands, and then breaking them apart and exhale down. And inhale the arms and interlace the opposite way. Press the hands forward, keep the shoulders back, and then bring the arms up overhead. And again, you can circle or wiggle the spine, opening the rib cage. Inhale deeply, and then break it open again. Exhale down. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead and side bend to the left, reaching to the right side of the body, turning the head to gaze up at the inner right elbow, and then twist, gentle twist to the right, and take the right knee with the left hand. The right arm is close behind so that you can press up and reach through the crown, and you twist. And then we'll bring the right arm overhead and cross it over to the left knee and hitch the spine back, curling in. Exhale completely. And inhale, open the heart, lift the heart and the chest, open the arms wide, and come back to center. And then we'll switch out the cross of the legs and inhale the arms overhead and interlace the fingers. Actually, take the arms out in front and face the palms toward each other. And then turn the palms out and cross the right arm over the left and interlace the fingers and bring the arms in. And this may be as far as you can go, but if you can straighten the arms out, you can try that. It's a little bit hard on the thumb, of the right hand, and then bring it back. And then just take the arms apart and take the left arm over the right and interlace in the opposite direction and bring it in, up, and out, or just as far as you can without straining. Just breathe here for one breath and then bring it back in again. And let's just open the fingers as wide as we can in cactus and then make a fist. Inhale, open the hands. Exhale, close the hands. Tight fists. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. And then bring the arms back to the side. Inhale overhead and side bend to the right. Reaching to the left side of the body, you can wiggle your fingers here and turn the head to gaze at the inner left elbow. Breathing deeply. And then take the left arm behind and the right arm to the left knee. Drop the right shoulder back. Reach through the crown of the head and twist. Twist the head and the neck. Don't make this our deepest twist yet. Just very gentle. And then cross the left arm overhead around to the right knee. And round the spine back, tuck the chin in. Can kind of hang here. And then inhale, open the heart. Lift the gaze, lift the chest. And release down. We'll come to all fours. You can either have your knees on the blanket or remove your blanket to the side. We'll be using the blanket later as well. Inhale into cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, completely cat. And inhale to neutral. Tuck the left toes and stretch back, pressing back hard with the arms. Stretch the back of the left leg with the left knee straight. And then lift the leg to hip height and lift the right arm and reach from fingertips to toe tips. And then draw the elbow and the knee together. Exhale. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach, press up out of the left shoulder. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach out, bend the left leg, and turn the right hand back to catch the left ankle. And press the foot into the right hand. You can have the right toes tucked here for stability, or you can arch the foot and just put the tops of the toes on the floor, or you can extend the foot. All different options. Keep lifting the left leg higher, pressing up out of the left shoulder, breathing here, and release and stretch it out one more time. And bring the right hand to the floor and swing the left leg out to the side. And then we'll sort of sit back, interlace the fingers, Kali Mudra, extend the pointer fingers. Inhale, reach up. So the left heel is aligned with the right knee. And then take the left hand, lightly on the left shin or side of the leg. It can be on the knee, but just don't put any weight in it. And reach through the right side of the body. Press the hips forward a little bit so that we're really, really straight over the right knee. And then we'll swing the right arm to the left and then down. And just take one cat and cow here. Inhale into cow. Exhale, cat. And then we'll bring the left knee back to the floor. And we'll thread the needle here. So take the left arm up, open it wide, try to stay right over, keep the right shoulder directly over the right wrist, and then draw the left arm through and down and bring the side of your head, top of the side of the head, to the floor so your ear is not on the floor. And you can support yourself with your right hand and the left shoulder comes to the floor. Next option is to raise the right arm up in the air, reaching up. And then finally, a third option, you can draw the right hand around and catch the left thigh and just keep opening the right side of the body as well as the left side. So we're really twisting here, breathing deeply. And raise the right arm again and bring it back to the floor and rise up to all fours, tabletop. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale to neutral, and you can tuck the left toes or have the toes on the floor. All the options. Stretch the right leg back, tuck the right toes, and press back. Really feeling that stretch in the back of the right leg. Right leg's very straight. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Looking straight down, and lift the right leg to hip height and reach the left arm forward. Reaching, and then left elbow to right knee. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen, reach, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretch it out, lengthen, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open it up again and bend the right leg. Catch the ankle with the hand and lift up, pressing up out of the right shoulder. Press the foot into the hand, feeling this really nice arch in the back. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Even breathing into the back of the body, even as we're in this back bend. Lift the leg a little higher and then swing the right leg out to the right and line up the heel with the knee, with the left knee. And then we'll draw the hips back so that we're not pressing off the floor, we're just lifting our arms. Interlace the fingers in the opposite way and extend the pointer fingers and reach overhead, pressing the hips forward. Inhale, exhale, right arm comes lightly to the right leg, and we reach overhead, side bending toward the right. And then bring the left arm out to the right and down in front of us. And we'll bring the right knee back in again. And this time, first find your knees directly under the hips and the hands directly under the shoulders. And then lift the right arm high in the air, opening up toward the right side. And then thread the needle, reaching the right arm under the left. The left arm is bent in a 90-degree angle. And you can stay right here. Have the side of the top of the head on the floor, and the right shoulder can be on the floor. And you can stay here or lift the left arm high in the air. You can stay here or reach behind you to catch the right thigh with the left arm. And breathe. And again, reach the left arm up, bring it back to the floor, and press up. Tuck the toes and come to down dog. Pedal the feet out. Press the shoulders through the arms. Just bring some movement into your dog. You can wag your tail. Lift, come way up high on the toes, lifting the hips way up. And then with strong arms, press back and release the heels toward the floor. Just come to stillness for a few breaths. And we'll come out into plank pose. And we'll hold plank just for 3 breaths. So make sure your wrists are directly under the shoulders and you feel really solid here. So the hips aren't sagging down or lifting way up like they do in down dog. They're just a plank. The legs are strong, arms are strong. And lower the knees to the floor, the chest and the chin. And scoop through and come to baby cobra. So you can stretch the legs back and together. And baby cobra, we just lightly have our hands on the floor and just lift the heart, lift the chest up, and breathe here. And tuck the toes, rise up to all fours and come to down dog again. Take the right leg up in the air. You can step the left foot closer to the right first so it's kind of centered. And then pressing through the arms, lift the right leg up and turn the leg, the toes, the knee to the right, even as the shoulders are still squaring down, and bend the right leg. And then make circles with your ankle. You can even sort of flex and point your toes as you make these circles. And go in the opposite direction. And then extend the leg back up in the air and square the hips down. And bring the knee to chest. And just hold here for a breath. And then step it through. And turn the left heel behind the right leg so that the feet are on a single track. And windmill the left arm forward, up, and back. And we come to warrior 2. And just, you can inch the right leg forward, really strengthen the left leg. So you're pressing the outside edge of the foot down. Pull back with the left arm and gaze forward. Strong legs. Breathing here. And then straightening the right leg, we'll come into classic triangle, reaching forward with the right arm and keeping both sides of the torso long. So pull the right hip under the left, and you can keep your left hand on your left hip or lift the left arm high in the air. And maybe you can turn to gaze up at the left arm, kind of out of the corner of your eye. And breathe. And then we'll bend the leg again and take the left arm inside the left leg and lift the right arm high. Peaceful warrior. There's a little bit of a back bend here. Sink down into the right knee, bending the right knee deeply, keeping the left leg strong and long. And then we'll straighten the right leg again and turn the toes quarter turn to the side of the mat and make the outside edges of your feet parallel. Hands to the hips, lift the gaze, and bend the knees just slightly and lift the head and look up at the ceiling. A little back bend here, wide-legged back bend. Breathe. And then rising up again, let's just go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the back with the palms apart. Just try that. It's different. Palms can be together, but we'll try it with them apart. And then hinging at the hips, reaching through the crown of the head, forward bend. And when you come to your deepest point, release the neck and the head. You can even shake the head no and nod yes. And then draw the arms away from the back, way up high in the air. And I think this is a little easier on the shoulders since we're doing some shoulder opening. And then release the arms to the back and bring the hands out in front and walk the hands out for a wide leg down dog. So lift the hips high in the air and spread your fingers way apart. So the legs are spread and the fingers are spread. The hands are as big as they can be. And then walk the hands back in again. And here we'll place the back of the hands. They can be behind the heels, in between the feet, or even in between the toes. Spread the fingers wide and sort of gently press down so that we're opening the back of the wrists. And try to release the shoulders away from the ears wherever you are. So having your hands farther back is easier on the wrists. The farther forward you have them, the harder it is. And then bending one leg at a time, make tiny circles on the backs of your hands in one direction, and then bending the knees and making circles in the other direction. Opening the wrists here. And then flip the hands back to the floor. And actually, let's just shake them out a little here. Just release the hands. Been doing a lot of work with them. And then turn the heels in, point the toes out, and cup the hands over the knees. And with a long spine, rise up to goddess. And you might have to adjust the distance between your feet. Cactus the arms and shift from side to side. Just settle in, lower the shoulders away from the ears, and try to track the knees directly over the toes so that they're not collapsing inward. Maybe come to stillness, gaze out gently in front of you. And then we'll straighten the legs, straighten the arms, reaching out wide as we can with the fingers. And then turn the left toes forward and spring onto the left leg. Point the right toes, and we're coming into starfish. And then maybe once you find that strong left leg, lift the right leg up in the air. Find an unmoving point, a dristi to gaze at. And breathe. And then lower the right leg, and we'll go right to the other side. Come onto the right leg, strong right leg. Point the left toes, reaching out with the arms. And lift the left leg up. Breathe. And lower the left leg back to the floor. We're still fairly wide between the feet. You can widen the legs a little further and then turn toward the back of the mat so that your heels are aligned now with the left leg in front. And the right leg is strong and long. You can inch the left toes forward and then reach out front and back, warrior two. Again, pressing down the outside edge of the right foot helps really strengthen that leg. And pull back with the right arm, really reaching from fingertips to fingertips. And gaze over the left hand. Breathe here. And then we'll straighten the left leg and come into triangle, reaching out as far as you can with the left arm and keeping both sides of the torso long. Tuck the left hip under the right. And you can have the right hand on your right hip or reach it up in the air and turn the head maybe to gaze straight ahead, or you can try looking up at your right hand. And remember, the goal is not for the left hand to reach the floor. It's just to keep the body aligned, the torso aligned over the legs, so that it's really a side bend. Breathe here. And as if someone's pulling you up by your right hand, bend the left knee, take the right hand inside the right thigh and lift the left arm overhead. So the left knee is bent, right leg is straight, and we're reaching up. Peaceful warrior. And then straightening the left leg, turn, quarter turn to the side of the mat, outside edges of the feet parallel, and make this your widest wide leg forward bend yet. And you can slide the hands down the sides of the legs, hinging at the hips but not rounding the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, reaching out. And when you feel like your spine might start to round, stop there and back off just a little bit. And then release the neck and the head. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and back. And then you can have your hands kind of on the back of your legs, ankles or heels, and pull, really pulling yourself forward. Breathe here. Then there can be a slight bend in the knees, always in these forward bends. And then placing the hands on the floor, toe heel the feet close together, closer together, and then just bending the knees deeply and horseshoe the hands over the knees and rising up, and we'll come into just a mountain pose here. So the feet are hip width apart, and find your stability, the strength of the mountain. And let's just roll the shoulders up, back, and down one time. Release the shoulders down. You can shake the hands a little bit. Chin parallel to the floor, gaze straight ahead. And with a slight bend in the knees, just release all effort in the muscles of the gluteal muscles, the thighs. Just see if you can stack the bones over each other to support you. And then we'll step off the mat and come into a balance series. So we'll start with King Dancer, and you just bend the left leg, root down through the right leg, and catch the left ankle with your left hand. Bring the knees close together and press the foot toward the buttocks. And you can reach the right arm way high on the wall, and then pressing the left foot into the left hand, just begin to tip forward. It doesn't have to be very far to be effective. Just tip forward, find your balance, and maybe you can even take the hand off the wall and find your balance, rooting down through that right leg and rising up again. Just bring the left knee to chest and squeeze it in. And then we'll cross the left leg over the right, bend the right knee deeply. And you can kickstand or wrap the left toes around the right calf. And then we bring the left arm under the right and wrap the arms around each other for eagle pose. And then inhale, lift the arms up, even as you're sinking down through the knees, bent hips, almost like a chair position. And then squeeze the arms in to the chest. Everything is squeezing into the midline. Inhale the arms back up again, reaching up. Keep breathing and squeeze it in. Exhale completely. And then straightening the legs and unravel the arms and just shake it out. Shake the legs, shake the arms. And then we'll turn and have our left hand high on the wall and bend the right leg. Bring the knees together and the foot to the buttocks. And reach up through the left arm. Reaching through the whole side of the left body, rooting down through the left leg, and then press the right foot into the right hand and begin to tip forward. And try letting go of the wall if you're using it. Keep pressing the foot into the hand. Breathing here. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And then rising back up again, bring the right knee to chest and squeeze it in. And crossing the right leg over the left, wrap or kickstand, sink back, sitting back, bending the knees, and take the right arm under the left and interlace the arms, and then bring the arms up. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale completely and squeeze the arms to the chest, squeezing everything into the midline. And inhale, reaching up with the arms. And exhale, squeeze it in one more time. And inhale, reaching it up and unravel. And let's just take some cow swings here, where you bend the knees and swing the arms from the shoulders. Just let the arms go completely, swinging them around. And then we'll come back to the mat and take a forward bend here. So reach the arms up overhead, maybe gazing up at the hands for a gentle back bend. And then swan dive forward, sending the hips back, bend the knees so that the torso comes and just rolls out onto the legs. And then you can take the back of your legs and release the neck and head, and then straighten the legs to the point where you're not rounding the lower back, but keep reaching down with the head. And breathe here. Can release the neck and the head. And maybe even try straightening one leg at a time. And then walk the hands out about a foot in front of you. Just have the fingertips on the floor. And we'll cross the right leg over the left and have the baby toes touching and make a V with the toes. And then walk the hands out to the right. So you feel this stretch in the left buttocks and thighs. I think this is a really nice stretch for the piriformis. It's a little muscle that is in the buttocks and it's kind of deep. Good stretch for other muscles. And then just bring the fingertips back in front and we'll just switch out the legs. So now cross the left foot in front of the right. Make that V with the toes and then walk the fingertips over to the left and feel that stretch in the right hip. Keep the feet pressing down onto the floor. The left knee is a little bent here. It has to be wrapped around the right like this. And then walk back to center, uncross the feet, and have the feet just hip distance apart. And we'll come down into a toe stand. So just bending the knees, and you can use blocks here if you find the balance challenging. So just bring the blocks to the sides of your legs so that thighs are parallel with the floor and the torso is vertical. And you can just have your fingertips lightly on the blocks. I think if you're trying to reach the floor, I don't know, my arms aren't long enough. Squeeze the legs together so the legs are pretty strong here. And then maybe once you feel stable, you can bring the palms to heart center and just balancing on the toes, breathing here. And then bring the knees to the floor and have your blocks handy if you like to use them for pigeon, and lift the hips up to down dog. And then step the right foot closer to the left and lift the left leg high in the air and draw the left knee into the chest and take the left ankle over to the left foot over to the right side of the mat and the left knee to the left side. So ideally, our shin would be parallel with the front of the mat, but I am not there yet with my hip flexibility, so the foot sort of comes back a little bit to allow this to happen. And then I like to use a block under my left thigh, and you can tuck the right toes and stretch the right leg back so that the hips are squaring directly down. And if your left hip is not on the floor, it should be supported by a block or a rolled up blanket, whatever works for you. And then maybe come up onto the fingertips and lift the gaze and open the heart. Take the shoulders back and down and breathe here for a few breaths. And then we'll walk the hands out. And you can come with your elbows on a block. And this is kind of the first option. Block can be at the middle or the lowest height. Or you can bring your elbows onto the floor. Or maybe you can even stack your hands and bring your forehead onto the backs of your hands. And just keep releasing the effort in your left hip. Feeling the intensity, the stretch. And maybe it gets to be too much. You come back onto your forearms or onto the block. Try to keep the shoulders back and down. Keep breathing here. And then walk the hands back in. And we'll just take the left leg back. Actually, we have enough time for Gomukhasana. So bring the left knee to the center of the mat and tuck the right toes and walk the right knee behind the left. And then we'll come to sit on a block if you can't sit on the floor with your knees stacked in the center of the mat like this. So I like to sit on a block. This allows my knees to be centered right in front of me. And you can just reach behind you and catch your elbows, or you can bring your left elbow in. I like to use my right hand to bring the elbow in and then maybe push the wrist up to the center back and reach overhead. If you can't catch the fingertips, you can use a washcloth or a strap between the hands and just pull here. And then try to center the head and the gaze, and the right forearm is right behind the head. Reach up through the crown of the head, and at the same time, relax the hips and release the legs, the effort in the legs. And release the arms, and we'll walk around to the right. So you just come up to your feet and turn 360 degrees around and find your right knee now on top and the left knee underneath, centered for Gomukhasana on the other side, cow face pose. And bring the right arm behind you. You can catch the elbow with the left hand and maybe push the right hand toward the center. And if you can interlace your finger or hook your fingers rather. And then center the gaze, center the head. Pull a little bit gently with the arms. And see if you can let go in the hips. And take 3 deep breaths, breathing into the whole torso, the back body even. We'll release the arms. And walk the hands out in front of us, and we're well positioned for pigeon on the other side. So bring the right knee to the right side of the mat, the right foot to the left side of the mat. And if you used a block or a blanket, have that handy. And then walk the left leg back. Keep tucking the toes and reaching back. And then prop up your right hip. And then come to the fingertips and gaze up, breathing here. Try to make your left foot pointed straight back, not sickled. And then coming forward, you can stay on the hands, maybe walk them out a little bit further. Can come to the forearms. And this might be your deepest pose. Or you can stack your hands the opposite way that you did before and place your forehead on the backs of your hands. And then center your attention in the right hip and see if you can release the muscle effort. Breathing here. And rising back up again onto the hands. We'll release the knee back and just cross the legs and sit back onto the floor. And stretch the left leg out to the left corner of the mat and bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Sometimes it helps to sort of pull the flesh of the buttocks out from under. And then with both hands framing the left leg, turn the chest, center it over the left leg, and then begin to walk the hands out alongside, hinging at the hips, reaching through the crown of the head, draw the shoulders back and down, maybe catch the outside of the right calf, ankle, or foot with the right hand, the left foot with the right hand, and have the left arm out to the left side for support, maybe even pushing back a little bit with it. But keep reaching through the crown of the head. It also can help to have your knee a little bent here until you can really fold without rounding the spine. And breathe. You can release the neck and head down. And then walk the hands back in again. And bring the left leg in. Stretch the right leg long. And bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And again, bring the flesh out from under. Center the chest over the right leg. Flex the right foot hard. And reach through the crown of the head. Keep the shoulders back and down. And just begin to walk the hands out alongside the right leg to your fullest extent where your spine is still long. And then reach the left hand to the outside of the right leg, whether it's the calf, ankle, or foot. Whatever you did on the other side, try to stay symmetric, even if it's easier on one side than the other. It's better to sort of stay symmetric. And reach through the crown of the head and forward bend. You can, again, have a slight bend in the right knee, bringing the torso onto the leg. Drawing the lower back in consciously helps. And then we'll walk the hands back and we'll come into our closing sequence, the usual. So catch hold of the backs of your thighs and lift the heart, lift the gaze, shoulders back and down, and then release and round the spine all the way down to the mat. And we'll just take one bridge pose or wheel if that's in your practice. And scrape the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And with the palms flat on the floor, lift the hips up and then squeeze the shoulder blades together and bring the arms closer to each other and interlace the fingers under the back. And then pressing with the legs up, lifting the hips up, pressing the feet into the floor, and then draw the feet toward you. This activates different muscles in the back. So if you're drawing your legs toward you, toward your shoulders, it's a little different. And then press them away again and lift higher. Keep a little space under the back of your neck. Keep looking straight up and breathe. And release the hands and roll the spine down all the way to the floor. Draw the knees to chest and squeeze them in, pressing the whole spine down onto the floor, even pressing the shoulders down onto the floor. Inhale, big inhale, and exhale. And then lifting the legs up, curl the hips up and lift them scoop them up with the hands to half shoulder stand. So you're supporting the hips with the hands. And if for any reason you're feeling a twinge in your back or your hips, or if anything hurts, you can just place a block under your hips and have a supported shoulder stand. Once you feel stable and comfortable, just close the eyes. Again, there's a little space under the neck, and the gaze is straight up toward the feet. And just breathe here. And then release the legs overhead and roll the spine down onto the floor. And we'll take a fish pose, a counter pose for half shoulder stand. So you can lift the hips up and place your wrists right under the buttocks or hands, trying to bring your elbows close together. And then stretch the legs out long and point the toes and lift the heart up. Support yourself on your forearms and then release the head back. Keep the legs strong and the head just grazes the floor, the mat. And again, you can close the eyes if you like. There's a sense of turning inward as we approach Shavasana. Expand the rib cage in all directions. Even though this is a back bend too. And then lift the head up and roll the spine down. And lift the hips, release the arms out into a T. Shift the hips to the left. You can use a block or a blanket under on the right side. You can place it so that your right calf comes to the block or the blanket. And then bending the knees and lower them onto the floor, block or blanket. Walk the right shoulder out, turn the head to gaze of the left arm, and again, see how much you can let go. Relax. Allow the breath, the natural breath, to come and go. And bring the knees back to center. Shift the hips to the middle of the mat. And if you used a block or blanket, bring it to the left. Shift your hips to the right, 6 to 8 inches. And bring the knees up and over to the left. Left shoulder out from under, turn to gaze of the right arm. Relax, release, let go. Close the eyes. Just allow the breath to come and go. And then we'll rise back up to center and maybe do a little self-adjustment here. You can take your hands so the knees are in the air, hips are centered, and then take your hands behind your neck and just give yourself a little gentle self-massage of the back of the neck all the way up to the base of the skull. And then using your hands, sort of draw the skull, lengthen the neck, draw it away, and then release the hands down to your side. If your back is causing you any challenges, it's often more comfortable to keep your knees up, but then allow the knees to come together with the feet wider than hip distance apart. So we tent the knees. And the hands can be on the lower belly, or you can bring the arms out about 30 degrees away from the body and stretch the legs long, one at a time, to the corners of the mat. And once you're comfortable and centered, let go of all effort. Bring your attention to your breath, turning inward, and just notice. Become the witness to what's going on in your body. And now drawing your attention back out into the world. Gently move your fingers and your toes. And stretch the arms overhead, rolling onto your left side if it's evening and right if it's morning. Draw the knees in. Take a breath or two here. Just comfort your body. And then very gently pressing up with your top arm, find your seat on the blanket for our closing prayer that all beings be happy and free. Take the arms overhead, palms touch, and bring them to heart center, reaching through the crown. Inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you, as always, for joining me. It's such a pleasure to have you here.